This is the exact moment where you realize how far this country has fallen. ICE tries to arrest an illegal street vendor running an unlicensed taco stand, and the locals, they didn't just protest. No, they flat out invaded the operation. Full-blown chaos over a simple law enforcement action. Now, watch this.
No.
Community members rush in to try to help a street vendor.
What you're doing is kidnapping.
As she's taken in by ICE.
Seriously, 8 of you?
It happened Monday as Selena Ramirez was selling tacos on the sidewalk outside this Home Depot in Ladera Heights.
10, guys that are all jacked up and armed, like taking away a woman who probably weighs 100 pounds. Like that already is, ridiculous.
According to the National Day Laborer Organizing Network, which has set up a GoFundMe to help Selena's partner and their 4-year-old son, the 26-year-old came to the U.S. 2 years ago hoping for a better life. LeBlanc says she was targeted simply because she's Latino.
Drove up the street, saw her as an easy target, and chased her down. None of them would identify their agencies, their names, their badges, any of those things. They didn't know what her name was. They didn't have a warrant. What I saw just looked like men trying to abduct a woman off the street. Like, this is the stuff that, of nightmares for women.
But LeBlanc says that wasn't the end of the drama. She says agents threw tear gas out as they raced away and says the whole encounter was uncalled for.
Keep in mind, this is ABC News. Make sure y'all keep that in mind. And I'm pretty sure there's some context that could be added. But this is what happens when the rule of law gets replaced with felons, y'all. They're physically blocking officers, yelling about the officers being too big, claiming ICE is abducting someone. No, man. That's called an arrest. That's an arrest. It's what happens when you break the law. And here's the wildest part. The media showed up to defend this nonsense.
No salgo.
From behind this window, Lidia watches the corner where she used to sell jewelry. Her hands no longer busy, but rather clenched in fear. The same fear that prevents her from wanting to be shown on camera.
Are you scared to leave your home? ¿Tiene miedo salir de su casa?
Sí, tengo miedo.
She and her husband are undocumented, and after hearing about recent raids, Lidia decided to stay home. Her 10-year-old son, Gerardo, who's a citizen, says he and his sister don't go outside anymore. Gerardo also asked us not to show his face.
It just feels like you're just trapped in your home because if you go outside, you're risking getting taken away by ICE.
Instead of just being a kid, he's left worrying whether or not he'll wake up with his parents by his side.
And we don't really go out that much, only if it's important or necessary.
Mucha tristeza.
And while she and her husband don't leave the house, they are fearful that ICE will come to them. So they have this posted on their window saying, "Este hogar no le abre la puerta a ICE," which means this house does not open for ICE. It adds that they have the right to remain silent, and on the back, which is inside of the home, they have a list of their rights, which they say makes all the difference in giving them mental peace.
No somos criminales.
The decision to stay home means no money for rent or food, but just when things felt most desperate, help came from an unexpected place, an online fundraiser launched by local nonprofits, including Community Power Collective.
So this is going to be the third initiative where we fundraise funds for street vendors.
Sergio Jimenez says Lidia will be a recipient of part of these funds that'll help go toward her living expenses.
Everything that they need. But we understand that it's not going to be enough.
Not enough, because he says Lidia is one of thousands of vendors who are staying home amid the recent raids.
ICE has been showing up in Pico Rivera, Home Depot, street vending communities in South Central, in Boyle Heights, downtown LA. You just don't know when you're going to get hit by ICE.
LA organizers say their work is far from done, but every donation helps keep a family together.
In a state like California, you can guarantee the media will turn lawbreakers into victims instantly. See how fast they flip the script? And y'all see how this works? Let me explain something. Hold on. When you break the law as an American like that man, they'll find you, shut you down. They'll go as far as to drain your bank account, freeze everything. But when certain people do it, they crown camera and the news calls it a tragedy. And then the entire machine bends over backwards to paint it as compassion. But it gets bigger than a taco stand, yo.
Any final messages? Habla inglés? You want to say anything?
Not at all.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What you think about ICE?
I think there's a reason why we have borders. Every country has a right to decide who comes in and who doesn't. And I support legal immigration. It's got to come through the front door. It's like when I have a house, I decide who comes into my house. If somebody climbs in my back window, I decide if they leave. I kind of look at it the same way. What do you think?
So when white people go to Mexico, Mexicans cannot do the same thing that y'all doing.
I don't know anyone that broke into Mexico. If you go illegally into Mexico, they'll deport you.
No, they don't.
They do.
Because when y'all go over there,
You know you can't fly American flag and protest Mexico in Mexico. You'll get deported. You think you should be able to fly a foreign flag in America?
What do you mean?
Like at the protests we see out there, they're flying the Mexican flag. They're burning the American flag and flying the Mexican flag. You think that's okay?
But if I really got to be honest, military people, when they went to Honduras, they did the same thing. And nobody could say nothing.
When?
I don't know when, but I see the video.
Okay.
And you think
Look, I don't think you should be able to go into any country without authorization. America, Mexico, Honduras, anywhere. Just follow the law.
Yeah, but you think that's right? When American people will fly on another flag, like
No.
Honduras flag?
I don't think anyone should fly any other flag in a foreign country.
That's all.
God bless you, man. What's your name?
Evan. God
Evan?
bless you too. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I say facts. That man was spot on. Go try this in Mexico. See what happens. Nobody talks about that. Only here do we turn illegal immigration to some kind of protected status while calling the people enforcing the law the bad guys. It's really sick. And if you think the madness ends with a taco vendor, this culture of lawlessness is spreading everywhere.
Nothing, no license plate, nothing. Y'all left to instigate shit. Who you gonna beat with that? You gonna beat somebody with that? You gonna beat somebody with that? You fucking pussy! Y'all some fucking pussies! Y'all some fucking pussies! You pussies! 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 You fucking pussies! Y'all some fucking pussies! Fucking pussies! Fucking pussies! Fucking pussies! Fuck you!
So yeah, this is the natural result when you teach people that law doesn't matter. It's just a whole bunch of FUs. Now, this is insanity. They showed up to an immigration court to protest people being deported from an immigration court. Think about that. Yelling, cussing, throwing fits over getting held accountable for breaking the law, y'all. And this is bigger than just random protesters on the street.
Left Friday morning. By sundown, nuestra gente were being hunted. I was about 3 hours north of LA, celebrating joy, graduation, familia. And at the same time, ICE raids hit the city. Protests broke out. People marched. People screamed. June 6th, ICE raids. June 7th, protests. June 8th, National Guard in LA. I'm not here to guilt you. We can't afford silence right now. Not when our people are being targeted. Cultura es responsabilidad. If you love cultura, if you post brown pride when it's trending, then post it now, when it's needed. Share a resource, amplify a voice, check on your people. Not guilt, just truth. Show up. Left Friday morning. By sundown?
Yeah. This is a woke teacher in Texas. The indoctrination goes straight into the classrooms. This isn't just activists or activism. This is teachers now teaching kids that the law doesn't apply to them. And this is how it spreads. Radicalizing kids, teaching them ICE hunting people, encouraging them to protest federal law enforcement. This is organized. It's not random. And it's exactly what happens when Democrat-run institutions prioritize feelings over laws every time. This is what Democrat policies produce. Lawlessness disguised as activism. And when the consequences show up, when ICE actually does their job, it turns into the victim Olympics. Man, watch this man watch his brother get arrested by ICE.
No mames, agarraron a mi hermano. Agarraron a mi hermano.
I'm not going to sit here act like there's no human element. I'm not heartless. But you broke the law. That's just what it is. So this is the part where the mainstream media, the left, they'll try to take this and start crying and talking about how unfair this is. But again, you knew the deal. Y'all knew the risk. Y'all broke the law. But the way Democrat-run cities and the media will try to spin these, now have you thinking nice of the villains and lawbreakers are the victims. But not every state is playing along, not at all. Florida is handling business. Let me show you what leadership looks like.
No problem, but all the stuff that goes into
I need the volume to come up, man. What's going on with the volume today?
Intake and processing of illegals, you're seeing this put up. This is all 24 hours. 24 hours from now, you're going to see even more. And by Tuesday, this will be able to have intake of illegals.
And you've thought of everything. Okay, so there are 4 gigantic tents. Let's come on over here, Governor. And people are thinking, okay, you're in the middle of the Everglades. It's hot. That would explain why you've got this bank of air conditioners here.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be, illegals will come in, they'll be processed. There'll be places for them to be housed. You'll have an ability for food. You'll have an ability for them to consult legal rights if they have that, because there is a process that's involved with this. So this is really everything. This is going to be a self-contained little area. And then, of course, you also have stuff for the staff that work here. So we've got laundry facilities, we've got showers, we've got, obviously, there you see the shower and bath facilities.
Yep, right there.
Yep.
Where do you go to get a bunch of bathrooms like that?
Well, so this is being done by the Division of Emergency Management. So when we have a hurricane, like we would actually have people stage here for hurricane response normally, anyways, but we have it. When we have all the linemen come in to do the power, we have to set up little areas for them. And so you have all this type of stuff. So this is not our first rodeo. The detainee illegal alien mission's a little bit different, and the deportations, but logistics, we know how to do that.
Right, and for people thinking, okay, they're going to put the migrants on this hot asphalt, it looks like you're building a subfloor, and in fact, some guys are putting down the plywood.
Yeah, no, look, this will be, I mean, there's not going to be anything that they're hurting for anything. There'll be AC. There'll be things that everybody needs. There's medical here. So it's being done right. It's being done by the book.
Well, when you think of the imagery of Alcatraz, Alcatraz is surrounded by a bay. here in the Everglades, we're surrounded by, you're actually surrounded by gators and pythons.
So this is as secure as it gets. I mean, if a criminal alien were to escape from here somehow, and I don't think they will, you've got nowhere to go. I mean, what are you going to do? Trudge through the swamp and dodge alligators on the way back to 50, 60 miles just to get to civilization? Not going to happen. So not only that is it secure, it also takes this deportation mission out of the hair of our local and state law enforcement. This has no impact on Florida residents because some of that stuff can have an impact on them if it's in more populated areas. And so logistically, this really answers the call. All you need is a little bus to move them, about 2,000 feet that way, then get on a plane and they're gone.
Well, listen, the DHS must love this because they're hurting for facilities, and here you are helping the federal government out.
Yeah, well, I said at the very beginning when President Trump took office, you have to have state and locals on board. You got to be on the team if you want to get the deportation mission done. We're done that better than anybody, but I hope other states will follow suit.
I will say this. Them being able to create this, cool and all right, but what about the homeless? That would be my only critique. But Alligator Alcatraz, 5,000 detention beds, surrounded by gators and pythons. Yeah, ain't nobody escaping that. Ain't nobody escaping that. But see, the media on the left won't show you this. They too pretending. They're too busy pretending. I can't even talk. They're too busy pretending that ICE is the enemy. Even when ICE is locking up violent criminals. It is.
In today's Busted segment, a few of the hundreds of arrests to show you today. Let's start with this one. ICE Salt Lake City, St. George, Utah, arrested Ronnie Velatoro Hernandez. He's a 38-year-old of Guatemala who admitted to being illegally present in the U.S. since 2014. Now, he's convicted of property damage stemming from a domestic violence incident occurring in the presence of a child. Then we have Guadalupe Antonio Lugo Ramirez. He's 41 years old. He's a citizen of Mexico, was arrested by ICE in Brownsville, Texas back on June 11th. He is a foreign fugitive wanted in Mexico for rape. The Trump effect is going strong. There has been a 93% decrease in illegal boarding crossings. Again, 93% decrease from May 2024 to May 25. And 0 illegal crossings in May 2025. Again, 0 illegal crossings last month. Can you imagine? Here's more from Caroline Levitt.
President Trump's powerful efforts to secure our homeland are working. According to newly released numbers, last month, Border Patrol saw a 93% decrease of illegal aliens crossing the southwest border between ports of entry from May 2024 under Joe Biden, when they encountered more than 117,000 illegal aliens. And this particular statistic is absolutely astounding. In the month of May, under the Trump administration, 0 illegal aliens were released into our country by Border Patrol. Let me say that again. Not a single illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States of America last month under this administration. Let's contrast that to Joe Biden's failed leadership, where immigration officers were wasting their finite time and resources processing dangerous illegal aliens for release into the United States. President Trump immediately terminated that reckless Biden-era practice that undermined the rule of law, jeopardized public safety and our national security, and diverted critical resources away from stopping deadly drugs and violent criminals from entering our country. That's the reason why not a single illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States in the month of May. And as a result, we now have a border that is reaching unprecedented levels of operational success. The efforts by President Trump to stop the illegal immigrant invasion and secure the border in this short amount of time represent one of the greatest achievements by a presidential administration in the history of our great country.
All we needed was a new president. And if you were an LA Dodgers fan, this may make you change your mind. The Dodgers, from their verified X account, posted this yesterday.
You already know what this is about. We covered the Dodgers. But they want y'all to think that ICE is just chasing your local vendor. But this is who they're really going after. These are the real threats. The domestic abusers. Fugitives. This is what ICE does every single day. But notice how the left would try to spin this. Because it doesn't fit their narrative. They don't want you thinking about criminals. You know what they want you thinking about? They want you focused on poor taco vendors and protesters crying in the street. And while that circus is happening, California is trying to pull one more trick. That's it. While these cities burn, crime explodes, you got illegals getting protected. California's governor, Newsom, isn't focused on fixing anything at all. Because somebody told the truth, he's trying to sue.
Democrat governors let violence fester until finally Trump restored order. Trump's not waiting around this time. He says if it wasn't for him, L.A. would be up in smoke.
Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. The radical left, it's usually radical left, and it's usually governors that are Democrat, and they don't want to call them in. They don't want to save lives. They don't want to save property. They don't want to call them in. I don't know what it is.
Newsom responded, and he said there wasn't a phone call. He said Trump never called him. Not even a voicemail, he said. But John Roberts got Trump's call logs, and it shows Trump called him late Friday night, and they talked for 16 minutes. Why would Newsom lie and claim Trump never called him? Why would he do that? Gavin could have called up the Guard Friday night and could have stopped the violence and saved millions of dollars in damages. But we're now on our 5th day of mayhem, and Newsom's suing Trump to send the Guard home. And California congressmen, they're telling the National Guard to disobey orders.
The legal provision Donald Trump is relying on to deploy the National Guard under 10 U.S.C. Section 12406, he is violating the law because that provision very clearly says that the governors of the states have to give the order, and Governor Newsom clearly didn't do that. And this is very important. I ask every National Guard member to read their orders, read the law, and then decide for themselves if they're following an unlawful order.
Ted Lieu's a lawyer, and he doesn't know what the law is. Presidents have mobilized the Guard and...
See, y'all, this is what happens when the Democrats replace law and order with emotion, man. Replacing accountability with victimhood. Replaces border security with open chaos as ICE trying to do their job. And of course, you know, the mob is going to show up to defend the lawbreakers. Teachers pushing it. The media covers for it. And the Dems, they now suing people who call it out. Newsom, man. The question I got for you is pretty simple. Do we have a country or not? We got people to protect, man. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share this video for your boy. Y'all know I rarely ask, so when I do ask,